We live. Am I live? I think I'm live. All right, live. All right, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? It's none other than your boy JGiddins, the father, as usual. I want to remind everybody to remember to be positive, be optimistic, and keep positive people in your circle, baby. Those three things are key to ensuring that that positivity is invited in your future. It's been a while since I said that entire thing out loud. So I wanted to do a video today. I'm doing a YouTube live video because it's been so long since I hopped on YouTube live, and I feel like I say that every time I get on, which needs to stop. But I wanted to get on here to discuss a specific topic. For those of you on my Instagram, what's up? Remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle, just so that y'all can see, because you may not be able to see this board that everybody here can see. Three things I have written here: validation, self-worth, and value, right? Validation, self-worth, and value. So I was having some thoughts in my mind that I wanted to share with everybody regarding these three topics. And those three things really are kind of can all be jumbled up into one. By the way, if you guys hear loud noise in the background, that is my daughter, JGiddins, who is crying right now. And for a while, I was thinking I should hold off on doing the live until she doesn't. But then I thought, like, my page name is JGiddins the father. So, like, you guys should know I'm a father. Anyway, well, that fatherhood is priority for me, even above this. So anyways, guys, so number one, validation, self-worth, and value. Those three things are kind of the same thing in a way, but just to kind of give my personal perspective on them, validation itself, in my opinion, refers to confidence. It refers to not confidence, but more so the validity of the confidence. So anybody can say, you know, I feel like, let's say you said, I feel like I'm the best basketball player in the world, right? You need validation of that. You know, everybody gets their validation in different ways. So if you feel like you're the best basketball player, your validation should be stats. Your validation should be actual game footage, game highlights, proof that you are the best, as well as comments from followers or people who may support you, who can help testify to the fact that you are the best. That's what should be giving you validity, because logically that makes sense to be valid or to be validating something. Second thing, self-worth, right? Self-worth, which I said is similar to validation, but I think self-worth, I think validation is what gives you the self-worth, and self-worth is more so just kind of appreciating yourself. Appreciation is what I would say, before anything. And then lastly, value. Value is more so what you do with those two things, right? So validation is what gives you this, and then this is how these two are applied, so to speak, right? And I mean, this is not textbook, Wikipedia type stuff. This is me, my own thoughts, my opinions, but in my opinion, well, listen, let's talk about them. So one of the things that I wanted to share, what brought me to this, is there's lots of women out there and girls out there who are in situations where they are in abusive relationships, or they are in situations where they may be, being taken advantage of, exploited. They may even be exploiting themselves. This type of thing happens because of a lack of self-worth and confidence, right? That's what we always, that's the first go-to that we have when it comes to talking about, these young girls, 14, 15-year-olds that you see out here shaking their butt for money, selling their, body parts for money, all this other stuff that we see going on. The first thing we say is, well, they don't have any confidence. They have low confidence because they don't have their, their parents. And I just want to sort of expand on that and give some more detail. That confidence, sometimes they do have confidence. And I think the misconception is that, a young child who's 14, 15, 16, sneaking into a strip club, stripping at that age, but nobody's speaking on it and stuff. I think the misconception is that they don't have confidence. In fact, I think they have exceptional confidence, but the problem is their validation is out of whack, right? What that means is, who do you look to validate who you are? Who do you look to validate what makes you special or makes you who you are? If the people that you have in place to validate those things, if they are sort of giving you negative influence, if they're influencing you negatively. For instance, if you looked up to your parent, or if your parent was not there and you looked up to a good friend from school or something like that, you will oftentimes find yourself in a situation where you will feel confident in the things that you're doing. There's lots of these young kids out here that's running around in gangs. Those kids are very confident. You know what I mean? They're very confident, and they feel like their self-worth is at an all-time high, because technically their self-worth is at an all-time high, because the value of who they are worth is what they're putting in. So if you're in a gang and you're robbing people, you're killing people, you're stealing from people, your confidence can still be high because of the value you feel you have. You feel that your value is reduced to, you know, being an unproductive member of society, and your goal is to be the most unproductive member of society. You know what I mean? So I think if we understand that, it'll help as parents. At least y'all know, you know, for the most part, everything that I come up with, all of my perspectives, my thoughts are geared towards fellow parents, geared towards, you know, people who may have, you know, struggles with parenting. A lot of people struggle with parenting. Like, a lot of people, they just get thrown into parenting. They don't understand what they're doing. They just know they have a kid, and nobody else is going to take care of the kid but you. So at the end of the day, you have to, you know, it's like if somebody, you know, it's like if you got a good friend who works in some nice high up government job, and they get you a job there, and you never had a job in your life. You know what I mean? It's like you're there, you're already in a position, but you don't know how to deal with it. What's up, Brandon? I need to see you soon too, boss. But you always pop up, man, when I'm looking rough and need my hair cut, right? That's my barber. Look, but look, at the end of the day, you know, I think if we get a good understanding of what is motivating these children to be the way that they are, and when I say children, I mean 16, 17, 18, you know, once you get to a certain level of age and maturity, you view these you know, these adults as children in my eyes, because they're misguided. And at the end of the day, they seek validation in the wrong ways. And I think that as adults, as parents, we should start kind of using this motto. It's not even really a motto. It's just kind of three words that identify a perspective that you can look at things from. If you teach, you know, maybe say these, use this motto, use these 3 words, sit down, talk to your kids about it. In fact, I'm going to do it with my kids, and just explain to them what validation is, what self-worth is, and what value is. And what will happen is the more they come into contact with people who are affecting these things in their life, they'll have an understanding of it. When they run into somebody who they see is going to negatively impact them or push them in a way they shouldn't go, they'll see like, okay, you know, my dad told me about that, or my mom told me about that. And honestly, a lot of these things, all the things that we teach, that we learn about being better parents, are better for us too. Because at the end of the day, if you're a better parent, you'll be a better person. You know what I mean? A lot of times when you really, really care about something and you put your all into something, it affects you, and it changes who you are. You know, I mean, you can't be a gang member and, you know, be helping out with charity down at the church every Sunday. I mean, you can, but it's unlikely, because typically when you're into something, you put your all into it. You know what I mean? So if you put your all into parenting, you put your all into teaching self-worth, teaching your child how to not be affected by negative outcome or negative outsources, then you'll eventually start to learn it yourself. You'll start to say, well, hold up, I got a couple friends that cause me to feel value in ways that I should not. You know, just because you are valuable, it doesn't mean that it's good. I mean, you know, think about these music artists that we got. Think about all of these, you know, cooning artists that we got that are responsible for, you know, majority of what takes place in our communities. You know, they are valuable. Technically, right? They're valuable because their value is based on what they view their self-worth as, is based on their perception. And I think I'm glad I said that, because I think that that's another thing we should take into account. All of these are based on perception. And at some point, it really comes down to you just having a line where you know, or a line. I'll do it this way so you can see better. A line where on this side is good, this side is bad. You know, you get an understanding of where your line is of good and bad, and where you fall in a place of what is righteous and what is not righteous. And, there's some people who are going to question those things. There's some people who are going to try to say, well, this is not wrong, that's not wrong. But at the end of the day, you have to find that line within you. This is why I'm one of those people, and I might lose a few people right when I say this. I don't believe in religion. If you're one of those people who are religious and believe in it, I have nothing against you. No offense, okay? Please don't be closed-minded to the point where you just shut me out and say he said he doesn't believe in religion. I'm not saying I don't believe there's a God, because that would be idiotic and illogical. But I do not believe that a book written... Listen, I'm not going to go into detail. At the end of the day, I don't believe in religion. However, I believe in spirituality, and I believe that the person that you are is what decides what your outcome is. I believe that we were given everything that we need inside of us. I think we have the innate ability to resolve any issue. I think that to not believe in that is to believe that our creator is not perfect, or our creator is imperfect, or our creator did not give us all the tools that we need. If we look at things like hospitals, medicines, all those kind of things, we have those in us already. When you get sick, your body builds up an immunity and fights it. When you touch fire, your body says, ow, that hurts, remove your hand. When somebody, does something wrong to hurt you, you feel pain and you get angry, which is a defense mechanism to make you stop. Everything that you do, our creator has given us an innate ability to handle. Whether or not you choose to do it is a different story. And that's where you get into religion and its requirement. And I do think that religion does serve its purpose. We're getting way off the topic here, right, guys? But I do think religion serves a purpose, because there are some people who need a reason to be good and to be bad. And those people need somebody to tell them. But for the most part, as long as you follow your heart and you follow what's right inside you, I believe you'll be on the right path. Anyways, my point is, if you can just understand and follow what I'm saying here, anybody that's watching this, the real take that I want you to get from this is, stop needing people so much. You know what I mean? Stop needing people. And the crazy thing is, it's very ironic for me to say that, because I'm a public figure, if you will. I don't hide anything. I expose everything, because I love people and I want people to be a part of my life. I want, everything in my life to be exposed. I don't keep secrets. I don't do lies. That's not me. You know what I mean? So I'm fine with doing that. But for other people, I would say, try not to be so dependent upon other people to make you feel good. Think about how there's so many people, like I watch their, I watch their lives, or I watch their posts, and they sitting there like this. And they're angry and they're upset. You know why? Because they didn't get to go outside today, or because they didn't, go out to this party with their friend, or because they're not, at the club popping bottles, or because they're not at the bar with this friend, or, whatever it is. At the end of the day, that goes back to the model that I explained to you about. You guys on Instagram can't see this either, but that goes back to the model. Let me try to make it so you can see. Okay. That goes back to the model that I said: validation, self-worth, and value. They get their validation. People who go to, clubs in order to feel like there's something. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go to clubs. I'm not saying anybody who's ever gone to a club, you suck. What I'm saying is, like, if you go into the club is the deciding factor of whether or not you feel valuable, then your self-worth is misplaced. If if you feel as if, what's up, Daddy V's Tees? If you feel like, your self-worth is what you can contribute to your homies in the club, what you can, if you're a female, what, how bad you can look at the club, how many looks you can get, whether or not you can take this girl's man, whether or not, if all of those things are what make you feel worthy, what make you feel valuable, I would caution you to rethink that. And it concerns me as to what makes you think that is true value. I don't know, what kind of upbringing people had. What I always like to say about, look at my son, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all on Instagram. What I always like to say when it comes to adults is just Gerald, stop. What I always like to say when it comes to adults is, adults are nothing but children that got older. What's up, Kim? Adults are nothing but children that got older. So if you look at a 7 or 8 year old who's, say, being abused or being hurt or being put through some tough situation, in 20 years, they'll be 28. That they're the same person. They're just 20 years has passed. You know what I mean? Adults are nothing but children that got older. So they still have the same scars, the same pain that they had previously when they were younger, especially if it was never tended to. A lot of people need psychiatric help, psychological help, therapeutic help, and they won't get it because of their value being misplaced, because of them not being able to see their own lack of value, because they don't understand, you know, or their value is validated differently. You understand? My validation, and this is, let me relate this to myself personally, right? If you guys check the hashtag, anybody who's reading this, if you check the hashtag JGiddins or you look up JGiddins, you'll see that there was a time that things were a little bit different for me. Okay. You'll see that there was a time where I moved a little bit different than I move right now. A lot of the things that had to do with that changing is my sense of self-worth and what validated it. What used to validate me feeling like I was worthy and made me feel valuable was, to say it bluntly, how many bitches I had, right? I mean, let's just keep it 100, right? How many girls I had, how many girls liked me, how, you know, whether or not my car had the biggest rims, right? Because I used to have, I remember when I was 19, I bought a Scion off the lot in 07. I just told my age, right? But I bought a Scion TC, drove it off the lot, had some 20s on it and everything, had some Scorpion rims. And like, that is what made me feel valuable. I could have been a bum, a loser. I could have had kids that never seen and met me. It wouldn't have mattered, because at the end of the day, I was validated, baby, because that's where my validation comes from. Wherever your validation comes from, it will funnel into what your action is. I learned to be validated, or I really kind of was placed in the position to be validated differently. What happened was I started going through, disputes with my children. I started not disputes with my children's mom, but these disputes led to me having to do things that I didn't have to do. And it led to me sort of fighting the man, so to speak, right? In this case, the man this is not a racial thing. This is more of a genderist thing, right? Because as we all know, for the most part, men are not treated the same as women when it comes to custodial rights and when it comes to parenting in general. You have to force that, right? You have to prove that you are that father. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily 100% disagree with that, because a lot of men in general don't have the innate ability to be that superior parent. You have to sometimes go through a tragic, life-changing experience, or you have to have something drastic click in your mind and make you go, okay, this is crazy. And then you'll change. But essentially what happened for me was I started being validated by different things. My validation went from, sorry guys, my validation went from, having homeboys who tell me that my validation went from having homeboys tell me that, my car was fly, or, brag about the chicks that I had and stuff like that. And us be able to tell stories about who got them, whatever, man. I even remember, man, I'm not going to go into detail, but listen, my validation changed when my children started talking to me and saying things to me that moved me. I mean, like, my daughters would say stuff to me like, Daddy, I couldn't imagine life without you. You know what I mean? One of my daughters was suicidal. Both of my daughters were suicidal, but specifically during this time, one of my daughters was suicidal. And this was during the parental alienation that was taking place, because I cut their umbilical cord and raised both of my children. So once they started being kept from me, they were like confused. Like, they started blaming themselves. Like, obviously I must not be worthy, because why can't I see my father? And they didn't understand that the world is set up this way. It's set up for moms to be able to keep, kids from their fathers. It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen a lot. And sometimes when it happens, Gerald, stop. Sometimes when it happens, look at this boy, y'all. Look at this boy. No sense. To my people on YouTube, y'all can't see because my camera, actually I can show you. Look at this boy. Look, he got up and ran as soon as I said that. Anyways, sorry guys, I gotta readjust my camera. But Jesus, what was I talking about? I shouldn't have got sidetracked like that. I completely 150% forgot what I was talking about, guys. But my whole point of doing this video, hey girl, my whole point of doing this video was to hopefully inspire somebody to, I always say be positive, optimistic, and keep positive people in your circle. But this video sort of is to elaborate on why I say that and what that means. Stop hanging out with the people that you're hanging out with when you know that they're no good. You know what I mean? Like, some people belittle themselves because they feel like they need this value from these people. Like, it's sad. Like, I mean, you can see somebody and they're like an awesome person that could, achieve so many things. I just realized I got my name up. My display name is JGiddins the Gamer. But you'll see somebody who is so worthy of so many things, and you can see them excelling in life. But then they're hanging around with these idiots. You know what I mean? And if you try to talk to them and explain to them that they could achieve so much more if they would have just look, my daughter's like, Daddy's doing a video. Let me disturb him. So if you could if you take a second and just realize that you don't need these people to be valuable. And sometimes you might need to get some pen and paper, man. Just get some pen and paper and try to write down what the benefits and disadvantages are. The advantages and disadvantages are of you being associated with the people you are. Even if you have to just take a second, write down 5 people that you primarily associate with, right? On a board like this. And on one side, put advantages. On the other side, put disadvantages. And write down what the benefits are of you knowing this person and being around this person. You know what I mean? And then you'll have a pretty good understanding of whether or not you should be around this person. And I mean, you probably already have a good understanding, but maybe it'll help you, with dealing with the fact that you shouldn't be. And you can see it on paper. You can see it yourself in writing, So again, that was my primary goal, man, just to get you guys to think about validation, self-worth, and value. Okay. I would like for you guys, if you can, to put in the comments what your thoughts are on validation, self-worth, and value. What do you think what do you think properly defines these things? What do you think motivates or at least incentivizes these things? What do you think causes people to look for validity in different ways? Just get the gears going, man. And these are the kind of things that you want to do when it comes to trying to improve yourself as whether it be a parent or as a person, as a friend, whatever you are. You have to do a little bit of self-reflecting and self-analysis. If you're not willing to do that, then your chances of growing are quite low. Okay. That's about all I got for you guys right now. Please remember to be positive, optimistic, and keep positive people in your circle. I would like to ask everybody to like this video, please, because liking it really helps in terms of the algorithm, in terms of getting it out there. There's so many videos out there where people are speaking of ways to tear down somebody's self-worth or tear down somebody's value or invalidate somebody's value. And those videos have hundreds of likes, thousands of likes, right? I just need like 10 or something, right? So what I'm saying is, if you can take a second to, like something that is invalidating us and creating unproductive members of society, just take a moment, man. Give me a like, a comment, share your thoughts with me. I don't do this because I just want to, I do this because I want to have some sort of interaction with people. I want to get an idea of what people are thinking. And it helps me gauge the effect that I'm having on people and helps me determine what type of material I want to have going forward. All right. Also, if you get a chance, make sure to visit patreon.com/JGiddins. There, obviously, you can find several ways to assist me in addition to, sharing my content or just telling anybody about me that you think may need to see a father figure who is not a loser, right? A father figure who actually wants to stand up and be there for his child and will call other people out. That's the biggest problem in our society. Nobody wants to speak up. Everybody wants to turn their head. That's not me. That's not my problem, right? But you say it's not your problem until the child that father could have been raising is responsible for killing your child or responsible for robbing you. Then you're like, then you can connect the dots and see how if we all play a role in making sure that we have productive members of our society, it decreases the chances of things happening to everybody. You know, even if it doesn't happen directly to you, that, you know, father or that fatherless child could grow up and influence another child who influences another child that affects you. You just have to, you know, or that becomes a star and then makes a TV show that affects people. You just really have to think about it from that level and from that perspective, right? I'm gonna really go this time, all right? Remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle. What's up, Choco Doll? Remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle, baby. If you guys missed this, I'm gonna post it to my page so you can feel free to watch it back. And yeah, JGiddins out.